Oh, there's 27 minutes on there left. So you could do a couple.
Okay. Say when.
Okay.
Are we on?
Yeah.
Right. Hello there. This is day 2. And as you can see, we're back in the daylight and the nice skies out there for free. So we've got some nice clouds to study. Only this time we're painting in moonlight. Now, as I showed you before on the hotbird painting, the moon with the aircraft coming towards you is about here. Well, now we've swung the angle over, so the moon's gone out over that way somewhere. So what we've got is a light coming down through the cloud onto this surface here. Remember when I showed you yesterday how we do all that little lacy work, that little dots and joining the lines? Well, that's what it all should look like. Right, that was all done in one session last night into the wee hours of this morning, and now I'm bringing out where you've got this mixture here in the moonlit sky here, it's reflecting on here. So that and that is unified and harmonized, and that's what gives paintings their harmony and fluidity, is when you bring one element and two elements together that are harmoniously the same. So you can't help but get harmony, right? So what I'm doing now is, this is a bit of license, but I'm creating a rising mist in the valley here, which I don't know if that was what it was truly like that, but there is a rising fog on the night, and that was what was reported. And even though the moon was very bright, so I'm building up this rising mist effect onto the distant horizon, and I'm just adding some glints and highlights. Now, where you create this sort of wash effect of the roll of the water, the moon up there is going to be catching the edges. So I just take a very fine brush and I just highlight where the light would hit the peak and top of a little wave ripple, and that's what we do in here. We do these randomly, but where you see something occurring in the water that you've done, you nick it, and it's just little things like that. Obviously, as you get a little bit closer, you make them a little bit more pronounced. Again, this is titanium white, cobalt blue, and a little bit of that. That's burnt sienna. Like I said yesterday, that into blue and white turns a grey, and that gives us this very subtle grey here. And it's this that I just kiss over the tops, and it just makes natural looking glints and highlights. There's a lot more work to be done on this, but this is kind of like how you build your cake and frost it, you know, or ice it. See, that's a bit big. Okay, we'll alter that. Okay, and then we get this little thing like that, and that's how we do this. That's we just highlight the tops of these like this, like that. As we're coming down, light's coming down towards us. Okay, so we just need to dissipate a few things here, and see, like that. And it's just is working it a lot. Sometimes your brush misses and sometimes it hits. We let that happen so that it highlights and just catches the tops of waves. It's all a repetition of, like I showed you yesterday when we do the little lacy bits, when we join things together, but this time we're looking for those subtle changes where light diffuses across the tops. I've got a bit of little fluff there. Okay. It's really now, we've gone from big brushes, now we're getting down to smaller and smaller and smaller. The aircraft, well, they'll get a different treatment because they have to have unnatural looking shades like black, which there's no such thing in nature as a black, but the dark sides of this has to be part of this. It gives it a reason and an atmosphere as to why it's there. You notice there's no markings, there's nothing. There's just the outline of the air of a length. So long as I've got that accurately drawn and it's blueprint accurate, as closely as accurate as I can get, and they're nicely in balance and phase with one another, everything will start to look natural. But you know, we don't worry about that. It's something for later on. So meanwhile, we're back to the water. Okay. Into this, there's going to be all kinds of nastiness. There was the bomb that would drop about here. That would be about there. If you remember, we put the splash about there. Also, there would be flak streaming from and trace arounds will be streaming from the dam towers. So this is all going to get ripped up and shot up. But it's like if into this sort of very, very serene, calm area, which the dams were, there came this havoc. And that in itself is an art as to how much of that you show. But for now, I'm focusing on just painting everything nicely and harmonious as I can with water, mist, moonlit sky. It's all adding to a natural atmosphere, and that's what I want. If as an aviation artist, if you get your atmospheres correct, your aeroplanes will fly in it. Your aircraft will have a three-dimensional look as though they're part of the environment that they're flying in, which is exactly what an aeroplane should be. It's an elemental thing of air, and it's a triumph really of engineering over what should be a physical impossibility, i.e. gravity. So you make them both look like that, but also as a natural part of the environment that you're depicting them flying in. And to create that, you create I create that environment first. So that's why I dedicate all my pre-time before the aircraft. Everything is done towards getting all this set down and harmonized as correctly as possible. Okay, so you know, it's like I said yesterday. I know it's not perfect moonlight, but it has the atmosphere of moonlight, and that's what's important. Atmosphere is more important than anything else in the world. I don't care how realistically you can paint. If you paint like a photograph, you're missing something, because you're just doing what a camera lens can do. And really, what's the point of that? You can't compete with the camera because it's the biggest liar of all. They say the camera never lies. Well, actually, yes, it does. It's the biggest lie there is. It distorts light, it distorts colour, it distorts perspective, and in the end, it distorts the truth. So, no, that's why I never work from photographs. I never ever copy photographs, because you're copying a lie. Apart from the fact that it's unethical and that you're actually breaking somebody else's copyright, but you know, and I wouldn't like it done to me. So, but that's another argument for another day. For now, though, it's all about finding where light in the sky reflects on the water, and whereabouts on water it does, and where it does it is, if you can imagine that a wave or a ripple or a trough is doing that, it's doing that. Okay, so there's the peak and there's the trough, there's the bit in there. So light is hitting the top and shadow is falling under the thing. Think of the old cube and the box with the light at one side. and the shadows at the other. It's the same thing, but they're kind of like a triangular shape like that. But at the top, that's where the light catches, and where they sort of move about and things. That's what gives you your look of these things. So that's what I'm trying to do, is to, having created this lacework of troughs and movement in the water, I'm now looking to see where, in a natural sense, the light from the moon, in this case, the moon, would be striking it. And that's here. And this is, have you noticed, this is just like a blue-grey. And that's because, like I said yesterday, the most intense thing that you can get out of a tube of paint as a white is a white. And you can't get lighter than that. So, in order for that to have resonance on this canvas, everything's got to be painted several tones below. And that's where clever buggers like me work out that if you paint everything down key, your up key stuff really sings out. So anyway, here we go. It's just catching all this, you know. It's this that really. This is where the work is done. Everything else was, as we said, we're doing the foundations of a house. These are the foundations, and now we're putting the bricks in, and the windows, and what colour we're going to have it, and so on and so forth. There it is. And what we'll do in the course of a day is I'll work across this. And now my day is around 20 hours, so I get by on very little sleep, which is just as well in this job. But there it is. You can see how you're starting to highlight and dot the thing, and it actually starts to become sparkle, and it gives and the rhythms and the motions of the water. As long as we are careful not to completely douse the thing in them, it starts to look nice. I have to bring back some from here. But there, you can see now where we're creating this rippling wave effect. You can do that, I mean, you know, and because the paint is drying, if you work on oil paint quickly and fluently, it dries a little quicker. But you have to know how you're doing it. Okay, so we just move this across. I'll tighten that down a little. Okay, so everything is flowing harmoniously across. And I like that there. Look at that. These are trees. We'll do something with that in a while as well. I always just like to make shapes and just leave them sometimes, but some people insist on having the thing explained to them. So, but I personally prefer to paint in ways that let your viewer's imagination finish a few things off for you. It's not being lazy on my part. It's actually good sense. It's kind of like leaves your audience thinking, well, what happened next? Always leave them wanting more. Right. This is looking lovely.
Do you want to leave that one there?
Okay.
Do you want to leave that one there?
What way?
Do you want to finish?
Yeah. And that's it. I think we'll call it a day on this one, and let me get on with it. And what's left to do? Finish this off. Put a few little grey flecks in there, perhaps as give it some cloud scud, and then the last thing I do will be the aeroplanes, and the next thing you'll see will be the finished print. Okay. Thank you. Thanks for watching. Bye. Vote, like. Whatever.